tell you that
Some of your peeps.
they got some of their shit together because
Yeah.
I went to the other day and there was like 5 people.
Oh, yeah, that's to be expected.
Basically, we talked about attendance on those Marcos said, you know, more people we need to meet on a regular basis and have activities.
Yeah.
So of course, Joe Gleason's like, probably in August. It's freaking February.
Well, I looked at the Secretary of State's website,
Yeah.
and they're not putting out their candidates guide until the fall. And it's like people like me, I'm counties. I mean, I want to know.
I think it's 2%. It's 2% of what you got.
Yeah, no, it's 2%.
Oh, that's president.
So Gary, yeah, I'm not sure how to make
Gary shirt on.
Oh yeah.
Oh, did you? It's a happy cast. It's a horrifying video. I think the guy's a happy driver. He's sitting there in the behind him. He's up on my seat. We got like a dash again. You guys see some out. I'm like, that's like, oh man. Oh yeah. He's grabbing the face. Right. Oh yeah. gets those forums that gave last night with people about 80 people.
Oh yeah.
Post on Facebook. They're popular bands in the primary inside the house.
Right. These dick craters in the sign.
Who's that? Robert?
Yeah.
Eric, how you doing?
How are you? Good, good.
I wonder if I have that phone number I gave you.
Which one? Oh yeah. Give him a buzz.
I was going to ask you, you're planning to come to this convention.
Oh, absolutely.
I decided to run for secretary.
You got my vote.
Give a good seat.
Yeah. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome.
Someone's got to whip that thing together.
That's right.
I don't have nothing personal against someone's dad, but I have no confidence in that brand. Talking to Jake, and I think he's trying to get him there. Jake, I think he's got to get head on executive director. And he's telling me it's going to be him versus the treasurer. We're both thrilled that we're only getting, he's raised like $1,500 in this 2 weeks. They're freaking out about that. I'm like, you know, the other party, first up
Hey guys, how are you? Yeah.
my goal for don't tell that guy.
Yeah, just assume leukemia. Because I can argue to the jury that I got 4%. The case and the media and then the pollsters don't get my case in full.
I don't want to do that.
Hey, how are you? How you doing? Thank you. Post that to Instagram.
I'm not funny.
Facebook. I'm on Facebook.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ryan Jack Holder. Yeah.
I mean, not always. Not always right.
We're the outliers. We're not the liars. We're the outliers.
they come to town for my Thanksgiving breakfast.
Oh yeah. Yep.
April 15th. Yep. Every year. It looks like there's a People's March at the Capitol that day, so I'm going to maybe reserve right across the road.
This guy here in the jacket, he's the one that told me I couldn't film district convention. Go back. And then he was at the state fair to watch me. He was like paid to track me too.
They start approaching that 5% mark, start getting worried.
Yeah. Like that's my fault. I saw him and said, send better people. We need to liquidate the kulaks. You're not meeting the quota of liquidation.
I bought it early on just to throw people up bars. Oh, yeah. But then I decided it's probably not as good when I do I should have brought that. That was funny.
It's actually his town hall in Meadow 2 years ago. Didn't have this many people.
I said, remember during that primary, Silicon Valley, probably the right people. And it was great because we had no one over here too.
Oh yeah.
We like centered this fill them out question. We just turned them all in and gave them the copy of the GOP platform. They're looking by those guys supported. Yeah, Joe G got questioned about one something. Oh, did he? And of course, see like
Where's the guy that works here?
John Thompson and stuff like that.
Thank you for coming. We're going to start this off with our Pledge of Allegiance from Josie, Theo, Ben.
To the flag of these United States of America and to the Constitution which founded our republic, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for bearing with us. So first of all, thank you for coming here on short notice. And I know that for some that may be inconvenience to you, but we regularly do our town hall meetings. We start them off usually late March because we wait till the winter's over and the roads are clear, that kind of thing. So I'll do town halls. We call them Coffee with Your Congressman every month in every county. I'm full on weekends and I have meetings. If you want to have a one-on-one meeting or a one-on-100 meeting, please contact us because I do a lot of them. But we thought with a lot of the energy that's out there, that we try something different. And so we thought we'd try a pop-up coffee with your congressman, town hall, whatever you want to call it. Because it's important for me to listen. Because there's a lot going on. And I think that Congress doesn't always have the answers, and there's a disconnect. So I want to make sure that we have a conversation and I hope it's constructive today. I know there's a lot of passion here, and I appreciate passion. I think it's kind of who we are. So we'll get started by, do we have the bucket with names in them? We thought this would be probably the fairest way to do this. We didn't have you write questions on a card, but we're going to pull names out and do it that way. So, Ben, do you want to pull a name out? Now they call us. Nick Wilson. Nick.
Congressman, I'll start off by saying this is the first time I've been to one of these things. So, first off, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. I guess first and foremost, thanks for taking the time to meet with us. I appreciate that. My question is about Russia. There's so much talk about, and so many reports about Russian interference in our election, the possibility that President Trump, his administration, his campaign may have had contact with them and been involved in potentially tampering with our election results. So my question to you is twofold. Do these reports concern you? And if so, are you prepared to push for an independent and immediate
I want to thank you for coming and thank you for your question. Anytime any country purports or does meddle in an election, it concerns me. It should concern all of us. It should concern all of us. So we have right now, and I think it's appropriate, and I support this, the House Intelligence Committee, the Senate Intelligence Committee, and are now going to investigate, starting out with Flynn, and who knows where it goes. And I support those investigations. And I want to see what their findings go before there's any decision made on an independent investigation. I think a lot of interesting things will come out of this, things that we need to know about. And we'll maybe close the book or open it further on this, but I'm willing to let the investigation go where it goes.
Bipartisan? Yeah.
Bipartisan committees, and so both sides will have a voice on this.
block granting Medicaid, obviously because of Joel. I brought with me a copy of a letter that was sent to all of the congressmen from the Consortium for Citizens with Disabilities that I want to share with you, but it points out their concerns with block granting Medicaid and how that will push the cost more onto the states and will completely undo the current structure of the partnership that the federal and the state government has. And as you probably also already know, Iowa, like every state, is already struggling to meet the needs of their Medicaid population. Joel was on the waiting list for 2 years. We just recently told he could get the intellectual disability waiver, but there's no staff, so it doesn't matter. And the reason there's no staff is the reimbursement rates are already too low for the providers to be able. But this letter is signed by 60 national organizations that are advocates for people with disabilities as well as providers. And they all express their concerns. I'll hand that to you. My question is, will you stand with Iowans with disabilities and those who support them, family members like myself, and agencies, and oppose your party's leadership to block grant Medicaid, and instead work with advocates and providers to identify and support reforms that will improve the Medicaid program by better managing the increasing cost of health care and long-term care, supporting efforts to improve access to health care, including long-term care services, and incentivize states to increase cost-effective home and community-based services, reducing reliance on more costly institutional services.
So I will be working with colleagues and speaking up for Iowa's position on this, particularly the disability community. I met your son Joel, he did beat me in basketball. He had better shoes. So I want to take a closer look at this, but know that I am in no means wanting to rush this or just throw this at the states. I want to make sure that that federal-state partnership still exists.
Will you oppose
Sick people don't have time to wait.
Will you oppose the block granting? That was the question for the question.
So block granting is one of maybe 3 or 4 options.
Will you oppose it? Will you oppose it?
Block granting would be my last resort because I don't give states the flexibility they need, and also there's sort of capita.
So you won't rule it out. You won't rule it out, right?
At the bottom of that letter, there is a contact person that represents the consortium that you all can contact, and I would encourage y'all to contact them to find out what are the other things that can be done. I would go out one thing right now for the home community-based services, those are waivers. And so states do have to go through quite a process to be able to provide those more cost-effective services that more people want. And so that's one thing. If you want to give a state flexibility, make the home and community-based services a mandatory or optional service to check off on their box and then Medicaid. And so that's just one suggestion, but I would encourage your staff and you can contact people that represent these.
I would ask you to help me out. And help lead a meeting with folks with the disability community here in Iowa with me so we can really dig into this. I don't think we can do it justice just today, but we need to dive deeper into this.
Thank you.
Theo, you want to grab a name? Just says A, see, there's no, Ann Valentine, there's a name on it. Hi, Ann.
I have a loud voice anyway. I get told all the time.
Louder.
hear me now? Yeah. All right. My name is Ann Valentine. My concern with the Affordable Health Care Act, I have a personal story. I don't want to repeal. I think there are things that can be improved. I don't understand why in a country with this much wealth that we don't, it has to be attached to our jobs. My daughter's 57 years old, lives in Houston, lost her job, so she got private insurance because she couldn't afford the coders, $1,800 a month. She's second single, healthy, okay? So she gets private insurance, $300 a month, that's fine. Then she's notified this year it's going to be down to $600. So she goes on to the Affordable Health Care and got a really nice policy for $200 a month. Okay. Yeah. Be attached to jobs because people can't. When you leave, you have to find insurance. You say, I have to stay insured so that the pre-existing doesn't kick you out of insurance. Okay. Then you get a new job. You got to wait 90 days to get on your insurance. It's a constant thing, and I don't understand why you guys want to repeal it, not improve it, and why this isn't kind of talked about.
And I appreciate that. And I'm somebody who
Has insurance.
likes my opinion, the deductibles are going up like everybody else. And it's the reality. When we talk about healthcare, I've met many families and individuals who never had coverage before. And when they tell me that the Affordable Care Act has helped them, you know, I can't help but relish and enjoy that. Really. I want to see it.
Why do you want to take it away?
I also have met families who lost their doctor or their insurance. And so there's those out there who, unfortunately, this law has hurt. So how do you make sure that this law
Only corporations.
Only
how it's not necessarily a repeal without a replacement? I'm not for it.
You don't have a replacement.
Deliberate.
Republican
flag.
Don't get it.
We continue to have a civil discussion here. But we want to do it about this.
Quit your weird.
What's your point? So, Ann's question was about employees tied to their health care. Employers, all of that is said.
Why do you have to repeal it?
I'd like to have insurance portable, where you carry it with you, job to job.
Single payer.
I want to see competition insurance. I don't like the monopolies that are out there. I want to see the lines in our state's drop. So, insurance companies compete in a competitive way. Where we can insurance with our insurance.
Join with the Democrats and do something.
There is some consensus, Republicans and Democrats, on some parts of the Affordable Care Act that we want. We want to make sure that those who have pre-existing conditions, you got it.
Yeah.
Those we want to make sure that those who have pre-existing conditions are not denied health care. We want to make sure that kids.
Corporations are fed by it.
How are you going to pay for that? How are you going to pay for that?
Don't help.
So I want my plan is competition, transparency, keeping the farm.
You don't have
what I'd like to see in the Affordable Care.
I did not see pre-existing conditions in there.
And
how are you gonna pay for it? I don't see pre-existing conditions.
It's
Second page bullet.
it's right above that. It's 2 paragraphs above that.
Will my 1-year-old son be able to get insurance with pre-existing conditions covered at the same price he's paying now? You talk about access, but access, you can't afford $4,000 a month. He spent 4 weeks in the NICU when he was born. Will he have it at the same price that he has it now? It's the question.
Take
Will
your
you
allowance!
to commit to community rating as part of any new plan so people that have pre-existing conditions don't have to pay more? Now,
Yeah!
I want to make sure that your son is not denied any care. I can't give you a definite answer to that. I'd be lying if I didn't.
You haven't answered the question yet!
There's the profit out of healthcare. Is there a Zach? Still through here? Yeah. Hey, Zach. You want?
No, it's okay. I'll see you later. I'm not yelling at you. I'm just projecting my voice. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. I have a million things I want to say to you. A million questions. So I got to think in the next 2 seconds of what one I'm going to do. Regarding the ACA, your Republican friends are saying terrible things about destroying everything, going back to where we were 7 years ago. Now, it's popular now for Republicans to just join each other. Tea partiers all over this country are just bringing you guys all together. Now, I am so tired. We have a million issues with this. But there is no bipartisan support anymore. None. Now, do you have the balls to work with Democrats and liberals so that we can build a better nation together? I'm sorry. For saying the B word, Jesse.
Thank you. You're pointing out working together.
I want to work together.
You're pointing out working together. That's my mantra. The things that I've gotten done.
You went work with Democrats the last 7 years.
I'm going to continue to work across the aisle to find pragmatic, level-headed, common sense people who want to fix the problem. I don't care what party you're from. I don't care what party you folks are with. It doesn't matter. You're Iowa. That's what matters.
How long is your job then?
And so,
Please talk to Grassley.
in terms of so I think you're pointing out working together very seriously. And
One piece of legislation
when
you
it
work
comes to
together on.
Affordable Care Act, Republicans, if we all agree that we have something done now, right? So there's a very much diverse opinion as to what should be done, how to approach this. If you didn't see what I put on your chair, that outlines my approach. And so I appreciate your slight B word. That was worse. Jeremy Mask? Oh, great.
Do you want me to project or?
Well,
State of Iowa. I live in St. Charles.
We just met.
We did. 2 weeks ago. Yeah. What I would like to know, would you support a budget for Social Security that would allow us to continue to serve the public, pay people the right payment on time, like we have since its inception?
So hats off to Jeremy, who works on your behalf with Social Security. And your congressional office, we do a lot of cases. We actually do a lot for help on behalf of folks who may not receive their payment or dealing with a disability issue. And we have found that we've been behind the 8 ball because of a lack of support services. I want to make sure you have those support services because it's what the folks in the 3rd District need. We can talk an awful lot about freezing pay or cutting government, but to the point where it gets where government is ineffective, that's dangerous. We had a great conversation. It was last week, 2 weeks ago, and a surprise visit popped into the Social Security office downtown. It wasn't for your employees to hear their stories as well as over here.
Well,
Thanks, Jeremy.
one last comment on this. Smaller government sounds good until it affects someone's livelihood.
And you have to pay for it, not give the money to the corporation.
They keep pulling from the one bucket.
You want to both of you?
I'm just saying, I'll go to
Okay.
Up there.
Rick Gibbs.
Well, thank you for being here. I appreciate it, and I hope you continue to do these. They're important. Everyone knows that I'm a registered Republican. He rules by ridicule. He rules by ridicule. He does. And my fear is, I look at his relationship with Steve Bannon. I'm curious of what your personal opinion is of Steve Bannon, what he's done in the past, what he's doing now, and will you speak out against him?
I've never met Steve.
Get him off the
I don't know much about him. Mary Ruth, R-U-T-H, okay. It's kind of the same thing on Russia. Okay.
I'm against the law in the province of Mexico.
Quick question about the wall.
Don't fund it!
And from San Diego all the way over through Arizona, Cochise County, very wide open spaces, McAllen, Texas, along the Rio Grande River. I don't think we necessarily need a wall everywhere. San Diego, some areas where it's already done, you need to make sure that you have ground penetrating radar. Sometimes you need more horseback.
Are you against the wall or not?
And so, well,
So your bullet points that you put in that letter that you presented to us all today basically detail a lot. You support insurance across state lines. So my question for you is regarding pre-existing conditions. You say you want to support that, you want to keep pre-existing condition coverage. The problem is without a mandate, how do we pay for
so this is probably going to be the case that when you're fixing the Affordable Care Act, that you just leave what's already in there for the pre-existing conditions. And you leave the and I've said that. To repair, fix, amend, leave. You want to make sure that
so we can continue to cover pre-existing conditions?
what's currently in law? Yes.
Okay.
How do you
Yeah, I guess I could even say that. I thought that was great.
Medicare for all! Sure to pick one that's taped on the bottom.
Is there no name? How do you consider yourself representing all items? Well, by being here today.
We deserve Grassley as well.
So, here's what I do. Being accessible and really listening.
What about your vote?
Yeah.
And I would like to also add on there that when you say you're representing all of the items, how are you representing every single individual here when you are not listening to anything that the other side has to say, you're just hearing what they say? I've seen plenty of things where people are fighting for individuals, whether it be for education or for women's rights, for reproductive health care. Yes. For disability care. For the environment.
Words are empty, votes are what count.
How are you fighting for all of us?
on principle on some other issue, there's other people who are going to say, well, that's not who I am or where I live on this issue. So then you challenge it. And you just say a prayer and you use your best judgment with the confidence that people gave you. And then you consider many different things. Of course, your constituents are saying,
I was raised as a Christian myself, but with all due respect, I don't think that prayers are going to pay my student loans.
Yes.
Separation of church and state.
Thanks. Thank you for the opportunity to have the town meeting today. We really appreciate it. Good to see you. I hope you all. There's a lot of passion. You said you walk with passion. There's a lot of passion here today. Many of us are here concerned about Obamacare, as you've already heard. Over 200,000 Iowans would lose health insurance without Obamacare. So I'm really asking this question. Because you have voted to repeal it without replacement, we don't trust you.
That's
I have a personal experience. Many of us have friends and neighbors that came from Obamacare. You just pointed out three of the things on your sheet are exactly Obamacare. You're saying you're supporting those things. Why not just leave it the way it is? Because it seems to be working. Now, there's certainly a promise made. What we do change, specifically what we change in Obamacare to make it better.
The individual and the employer mandate lobby, because I've heard from small businesses who aren't able to grow because of some of those mandates. They know where I stand on this issue, and I'll be eager to hear what they learned in their town hall. I realize how I have been helped with this law. I'm fully conscious of that. I don't want them to be left out in the cold. I do not want that.
Affordable health care would be nice.
Affordable access to and quality.
How will you do that?
How are you going to do it? As Tim only says, here's all your choices. And if you can afford it, you can pick one.
Health savings accounts are just savings accounts.
I'll
They're
let
not
you
equal
finish
to
my
income.
point.
You can't afford them.
But I have voted to repeal the Affordable Care Act. President Obama was the president. And it was more symbolic than a lot of things really matter here, and that's why I think
I'll let Representative Young explain his law.
So, there's a young lady named Sarah Root, over a year and a half ago, in Council Bluffs, she was still a drunk driver. That drunk driver happened to be from Honduras and undocumented, and
We have
was passed from the local jurisdictions.
She's not your problem.
And so someone's here undocumented and they kill somebody. They should
What if
answer
that's your
to the
document?
federal government. I think it's pretty serious. And it was killed.
Overturn Citizens United.
Because of free speech issues.
You work for our brothers!
y'all hear it?
Speak up louder. I heard something I wanted to make during these meetings in the last week and a half from a guest speaker who felt pretty confident that part of the reason for having legislation issues is that the Republicans are not willing to speak out their true beliefs because they're afraid of being tainted by retaliation by Trump and his administration.
Well, I just told them to release the facts.
So, not only what you vote for and what you agree on, but are you being progressively active and soliciting your other Republicans to do what they know is right and to stand up against Trump?
Speak out or speak to one another when you don't agree with something. I've had disagreements with my party on issues. I've had disagreements with what the president has said before about Hispanics and about religious litmus tests. And I've spoken out again about those things publicly. And when they come again, I will continue to do that.
We're concerned about climate change in our environment. The people against the Republican Party's reluctance, calling it a hoax, those people with your conscience.
Well, my comments and
What's your conscience?
the climate's changing, and I'm not going to be curt and cute and say that's the weather. I'm not going to say that like a lot of people do. I think there's something more to it. I don't
What's
know
more to
if
it?
it's looking over the course
Are
of
you a
history,
scientist?
whether or not it is something temporary or if it's that's phenomenon, man-made. We can have that debate all day. Regardless of debate, we need to do what's right.
Scientists agree!
It is a wonderful land, but we need to be good stewards of the environment. So that's why I'm battling with my colleagues against big oil on trying to get rid of renewable fuels. And I will stand up because there is a big fight on this, which not only affects our environment, but also affects our economy and way of life here.
How do you think we're going on the Bureau of Land Management, Representative?
Go Keystone XL!
Yeah,
There's no name on this. Keep doing what you're doing to help us. Steve Strong. Steve here. Hey, Steve.
I will. I wrote out my question because I didn't know what the format would be. We might need to turn in a question I didn't know. I also feel as though my question has been somewhat talk about briefly very quickly. My name is Steve Straw, a constituent, not paid, of course. And I'm a resident and business owner in Johnston for over 30 years. And you probably knew our store when you attended Johnston High School. We advertised in your yearbook. But I believe that President Trump's assertion that people do not care about his tax returns is incorrect. Incorrect on April 15th at tax marches in Washington, D.C. and many other cities across the country. We need the returns to look at possible ties with Russia and other. We also deserve to know if he is shirking his duties as a taxpayer. Those of us who pay our taxes are currently funding the extravagant lifestyles of the traveling folks. Billions of dollars to pay for the worthless wall. Congress can act to get the tax returns. Representative Bill Castro is circulating a letter to those support for that action. Will you sign on to the Castro letter? My understanding is that it is a law that Congress, without consent, can act independently to get tax returns that go back to the Teapot Dome scandal when we needed to get taxes of the president to find out what was going on, and I think we need to find out what's going on now.
Tax returns, you're running for president, you should release your tax returns.
What are you doing?
What is currently going on in the House and Senate Intelligence Committees, and we'll see where that goes. It may merit more investigation, but I think this is where we start. Air Force One is flown around. It's supposed to be paid for with campaign dollars, and that's a legitimate question. I think both sides of the aisle have those kind of questions. The president, particularly on the other side of the aisle, because politics comes into this, unfortunately. But I'm not afraid to ask the question, are you reimbursing? Ask them! So I will ask them.
Will you put out a response when you look at the letter? What do you think?
Answer the question.
I'm sorry, I thought I asked.
Will you sign
Thank you. Pam Reichenberger. Did I get that name right? Hey, Pam.
Taking the time to come here. Okay. Okay. My question again is in regards to the National Art Endowment Fund. They're planning on doing as part of that. And it's only $150 million. And when we have the Trump family, but we're paying security $550,000 a week for a bond or a day. And Donald Trump is taking his extravagant lifestyle to the So I'm just trying to figure out how the Democrats and Republicans can do away with that fund. And justify what we're spending on security. And that's not counting the son who went over to Dubai. Right.
The arts are the soul of America.
Overall around the level. Really appreciate it. President Trump will probably put out a budget and it probably won't get but remember, the president's budget is a document. It doesn't get signed into law. Congress does the budget. And being on the Appropriations Committee, we provided steady money, I believe, for National Endowments of the Arts, Corporation for Public Broadcasting. I'm an advocate for it, and assume it will still be there.
We're going to hold you to that. It's not in there.
Cindy, that's it? C-O-S-T-L-O-W?
I saw my first eagle after college. So when I was growing up, there were no bald eagles. And I was due to DDT. How do you justify the decisions that the Trump administration and the Republicans are making as far as the EPA and environment?
Save the bees!
Bill, it's HR-717.
Save the water. Save the air.
Got in the Endangered Species Act.
Yes. Save the parks.
The EPA Administrator Pruitt. Somebody mentioned the issue about the bees that concerns me. We've been putting funding in on this issue for milkweed to bring back our pollinators. Beautiful and productive state that we didn't have that. So I take your point very seriously. I thank you for being here.
What about fossil fuels? How about
That's the battle. That's the battle in the back of my mind, and I need more clarification from the EPA Administrator about the support for renewable fuels. Renewable fuels are good for the environment, they're good for the economy.
Something like that.
Ethanol, solar, hydro, very, very important. It will help us get I'm not aware of any legislation or votes.
There was one of the first votes taken in this discussion.
Pay attention. That's why I want to answer.
Will you support the Paris Climate Accord?
Yes. Planned Parenthood funding. What about it? Right. What about it? Planned Parenthood. Planned Parenthood.
Save Harambe.
Afraid to answer.
Michelle Bernie.
I'm trying to figure out how I would work that into my commission. I have grave concerns regarding the pipelines that are going in. The water runs
the groundwater runs in Iowa, it runs, a great deal of it comes from one source, and it runs exactly in the direction that the Dakota Access Pipeline is going through Iowa.
New Flint, Michigan.
It feeds directly into the Missouri, the Mississippi, the Des Moines River. Very concerned about water. People can live without a lot of things. Water is not one of them. We got your answer on your position for climate change. Now, what are you going to tell Scott Pruitt when you discuss with him the environmental issues? What are you going to tell him in regards to the water? What are you going to tell him? Where we are custodians for the future. That's all we are. We are the management of today. We are only managing the land, the water, the air for the next generations and generations to come. I do have one thing for you. If somebody wouldn't mind holding the microphone for me, would you mind? Thank you, sir. Thank you, kind sir. I have something for you. Now, I'm sure you worked up first. So let me give you something to drink. I think that might be a little more digestible. Here's some water. If this water is good enough for our children to drink following an oil spill, then it's good enough for you to drink.
I'm concerned about water quality. Being on the Appropriations Committee on the Agriculture Subcommittee, there's an account there called the Environmental Quality Incentive Program. I'm guarding that account furiously because it goes to communities, it goes to watersheds to help for sound farm land management because of our water. I'm introducing a bill, you've heard of precision agriculture, this is precision conservation. And it's a 10-state pilot project which has a larger reach on larger watersheds like the one in Iowa. So I'm taking the bill to make sure Iowa is included. Because I'm deeply concerned about this as well. And I appreciate it. It deals with watersheds particularly.
Thank you.
So we're going to
And they filter in all the springs, the brooks, the rivers, the streams, the lakes, they all kind of feed in. And they keep going down, and they feed into the bigger rivers. And they keep going.
And it's not meant to just put money somewhere. We want to make sure that there's real data, real metrics showing what the practices are that are being used.
Scientists know.
It would be transparent. Yeah. And I've talked to Nature Conservancy, practical farmers, and trying to really get the best ideas of this bill to make sure that when we work together, we work best. So we're going to get others really together. I've been told that we are down to 12:30. It's maybe okay. Well, I'm having fun. Are you? I have to be out of here at 1 because I'm going down to Southwest Iowa and I don't want to get a speed ticket. But I want to make sure that it's Penny Thompson here.
Yes.
It's right here. Thank you.
Thank you for coming, and I'm affected by the Affordable Care Act, that's been covered. I also work with the refugee population here. vote against the Trump initiative that bans Muslims and refugees from home.
That's not initial board comment, so let me give you some initial thoughts, because that's an executive order and it's nothing in force right now. When this executive order first came out, one of the first things I did right away is contact Lutheran Services of Iowa, Embark, which started coming in the room, and I reached out to Catholic Charities as well, and I sat down with all three groups in different settings. And David Young recognizes, as well as this state, and particularly the Central Iowa community, the richness that refugees and immigrants have brought to our safe haven for many ethnic groups who are escaping some awful things around the world. Things that we can't even think about. I mean, what they have struggled to us.
We're all immigrants.
Awful. And Iowa has always been a welcoming place, and I want Iowa to continue to be a welcoming place as well.
Sanctuary City.
You opposed to the ban. You opposed the ban.
Okay, I'm not aware of that bill, but I will look into it. I'm actually aware.
You opposed the ban.
Any other questions?
I initially had a question about Trump's conflict of interest, so I'll shift to another subject. If you don't know much about Steve Bannon and other aides in the White House, I'd encourage you to read Breitbart News. And for example, one of the things that Steve Bannon has said is that women on birth control are less attractive. That Republican women like Sarah Palin are much better role models as mothers than the Rays from Seven Sisters, which is the colleges of mostly female in the East Coast. So with this growing patriarchal system that he's developing around him, we're very concerned about women's reproductive rights. Birth control, prevention of unwanted pregnancy. So what is your position on, first of all, the AIDS that he surrounded himself with and how we're going to resist that, and specifically around the funding that will come through on Trump's budget?
Well, that comment that you quoted that Bannon made, I think was ridiculous.
That's horrible.
He's on the National Security Council now.
And his ideas aren't permeating through Congress, so it's not like.
He's on the National Security Council. It's on the news.
So,
He's on the National Security Council.
that women and girls have more access to birth control. I'm on a bill to make sure that it allows over-the-counter purchases of birth control.
Yes or no? Funding Planned Parenthood.
Well, you probably see my votes because of something that happened a few years ago with some videos and testimony. And this is an issue that is related to a lot of people. really about their tax fund dollars being going to an organization. We also passed a bill giving over $700 million to community health centers.
You say we're your bosses. 74+% say yes. 77.
At 4:37 in the afternoon, Paul Bryan tweeted, repealing and replacing Obamacare means Washington bureaucrats will give up control and let you and your doctor make the decisions. How do you reconcile that with the stand against women and the doctors making their own decisions?
A lot more thought than 141. Final answer for Paul.
He speaks and you don't answer him, and he's speaking for you.
Mary Brown. Mary Brown.
I've never been to anything like this before, so I'm not being paid. I turned 70. I decided that day that maybe I'd just sit back and see what happens. I gotta tell you, the beginning of my 80th decade, I'm just becoming more concerned and more concerned every day. My grandchildren are students in the largest education system in our state. But I've got so many concerns, I'm not going to mention them. The ones that I'm going to mention are probably more lighthearted. Our commander-in-chief says that he doesn't trust the media and they're against us. Well, the only way he communicates with us is through Twitter, which means for me, I have to get that news from the media. Okay? And so, that's so crazy. Paul Bryan and the House and the Senate, can somebody send him a message? We want our news some other way than through Twitter.
She's holding up the green sign. I agree with you. I wish the president would do less tweeting. The news is the news, and it's up to us to discern what's out there and make up our minds for ourselves. And I believe in a free and independent press. I do not believe left and right, it's up to us to figure that out. There are increases available both sides. So, I'm having a meeting now with the press and then getting on the road to Southwest Iowa. And so I would like to.
Yes, we have. I call your office every week. I try to ask you every week. This is my passion. My
the Alamo. I can't say it in Spanish. It's a movie.
Amigos de mi